Hello YouTube, you got me VGH, and as you guys have already probably seen, we have dropped a couple of videos on the Palworld TCG Dawn of Palpagos start deck cards. Now, we have already seen red and blue, and today we're going to go over green. So, in a lot of games, green is ramp, aka it means that you're trying to get out as many energy efficient, resource materials, mana, souls, stuff like that. Very, very quickly, so that way your early game kind of ends up being your late game, where you can get all of your souls out of your maximum 10 onto the board on turn 3, or something along those lines, so that way you are able to start bringing out those big characters really fast. So, let's go into the green, and let me see what you guys think about it. First off, we have B-Guard, the Knight of the something. Might have been a long title, and it didn't render all the way in. First up is a continuous effect that says you may put any number of cards with the same card name as this card into your deck, with an auto effect that states on deploy, get 1 fruit, and if you have a farming structure, this card gains plus 500 power until the end of the turn. So it is a 3-drop, 900 efficiently on the first turn. After that, it will drop down to 400, but you also do get 1 fruit, and there are plenty of cards that utilize fruit in the grass deck that allow you to get boosted attacks, boosted abilities, boosted strike. So a 3-drop 4-cost 900, 3-drop 400, that's effectively a 900 that also gives fruit is pretty good. Next up, we do have the Berry Plantation, which is the structure most meant for the set, obviously, stating 1 cost 600, assign a pal, get 3 fruit, and draw a card. So if you have a very small, you're going second, this is a 1 cost. If you have a 2 cost that has the ability of harvesting, you can play the harvesting pal and assign it to the Berry Plantation. You get 3 fruit, and you draw a card. It's a pretty good turn 1, realistically. Next up, our 3-cost Blessing of the Flower Spirit. I've seen plenty of other games that have this, where if you're, a 3-drop that states gain a life, draw a card. In a lot of other games, it'd be like gain a mana or place 1 energy. There's a whole bunch of other things that have a very similar where you're paying something to get a ramp like this. Do I think it's all that great? Not really, because you can also spend 3 souls to draw 1 card. So all this is realistically doing is paying those same 3 souls to, instead of just draw 1 card, you gain 1 life. So it's a small buff. And depending on how green really plays, I don't think it'll be that crazy. I think it'll be nifty. Not so crazy, though. I don't think I would want to waste a spot in my deck with this card when I could play something else that could possibly do a little bit more for me. This is the breeding structure. The breeding ranch states, action once per turn, consume 2 fruit, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is a cost of 8 or less, oh, it doesn't even matter what it is, just 8 or less cost, add it to your hand. Otherwise, just put it in the graveyard. Okay. Build the deck around not higher than 8. But then it says action once per turn, consume 2 fruits, tap 2 pals, and choose 1 pal that has a cost of 8 or less from your hand, and play it. That's a lot. I guess its first effect is using 2 fruit to reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an 8 cost or less, you add it to your hand, and then you can also consume 2 more fruit and tap 2 of your pals to play whatever that card is for free. I don't know how valuable that would be, but I also know that there are a lot of taunt characters in grass, so I guess the taunt could cover for that to get a free pal on the board. We'll keep going and see what happens. Brawn Cherry, the Brimming Adoration, states taunt. While this pal is tapped, your opponent pals cannot attack your other pals or you. So, like I just said with the ranch, which funny enough, 7-drop, 3-drop, if this one is played, you can tap it along with 1 other pal to use the Breeding Ranch's ability to play another 8 cost from your hand. This one, having taunt, forces your opponent to target this one instead. It is also a 7-drop, like I said, that lucky 7, and it is a lucky. This card is crazy. Lucky pals are so good. Next up, we have a 3-cost campfire that says act turn 1. So action once per turn. Assign a pal, consume 2 fruit, you gain 1 health, and all your pals get plus 1,000 power until the end of your turn. Oh my god. That's great. And this is kindling? This is kindling. That's a lot harder to do with grass pals. So you'd probably need to somehow tag this with the fire type deck. And that does make a lot of sense with the fire type deck because a lot of the fire pals need a little bit more juice to do the damage to kind of get through. So throw a kindling pal like Fox Parks in here and you'll be doing fine. Okay. So I will say I saw this card in the Discord, but I thought it was AI. Because it does not match the vibe of any other card in the game. There is a cola vending machine that states, once per turn, consume X amount of fruit and assign 1 pal, stand 1 soul, and then stand a number of souls equal to 3 times the amount of fruit that you consume. It doesn't say 0, like you can consume 0, but I think that technically, since it doesn't confirm that you can't use 0, you can still just rest the card and consume no fruit to assign a pal and stand 1 soul. So this does bring back 1 soul per turn, even if you don't consume any fruits. If you do consume 1, 2, or 3 fruits, you do end up bringing back 4, 7, or all 10 of your mana when you do it. So you have a 6-drop structure, which there are plenty of cards that allow you to just cheat out structures, that allows you to bring back all of your mana once per turn with 1,500 on durability. All you need is 3 fruit, and you can just do an extra 10 mana for the turn. You know, if you just have, like, there's a bunch of other cards that say, like, gain a fruit. By just playing 1 card, it's like, gain a fruit. Okay. Like this one. Assign a pal and get 3 fruits, and then draw 1 card. So, like, it's once per turn, assign a pal, gain 3 symbols, which is just fruit, and draw a card. I have 3 fruit. This plus the other card and 1 assign is just like, oh yeah, I just got my 10 mana back. It's just a thing. That's crazy. Now, I did see these Dig Toys cards, and they are not fair at all, and I definitely see that green can be very, very strong by utilizing these Dig Toys cards properly. Dig Toys, the Keen Needleback, says that action of once per turn consuming 2 fruit, this card gains plus 500 power, gains Breakthrough, which is an effect that not many others that I know of so far have, if not anyone else, that states when the opposing combat pal is put into the graveyard during this card's attack, the opposing player is also dealt damage. So, by paying 2 fruit, this character goes from 800 to 13 with a piercing effect that if it knocks something else out, your opponent takes the strike damage. So they strike for 2 as well. So they can take out a pal and go for your face. That's not even the good one. We have Dig Toys, the Seismic Drillback, which states if you have 10 or more souls, this card gets plus 1,000 strike plus 1. So if you have just 10 souls on board, you have a 900 attack that boosts to 19 with strike. I think it starts at 2. It's hard to see with the holographic. So you have a strike 3. And then it also gains the effect of once per turn, you can consume 2, and until the end of the turn, it gets 500 more power. So you have the 5-drop 800 that you can use 2 fruit to give it plus 500 and piercing. This one is a 6-drop 900 with the same ability for gaining Breakthrough. So spend 2 fruit, but if you also have 10 souls, it gains an extra 1,000. So you have both of these that can strike your opponent's face and their pal, and then you get a tool for them that says Dig Toys' Headband. Rest this card, choose a pal, and it gains plus 200 until the end of your turn. But if its main name is Dig Toys, you gain 2 fruit or 2 logs. So you can also just tactfully just get this, boost it with this. So now it's got its 900 plus its 200 plus 2 fruit plus 1,000 plus by using the 2 fruit, you can give it an extra 500 and give it strike plus 1. A 2-card combo that makes like a 3k monster that just kind of goes through you. It just goes through your opponent's pals entirely and straight to their face. Oh, sorry, not 8. Sorry, it was 9. It's either 5 plus 3 to 8 or 6 plus 3 to 9. And you can just make a PAL that just, like, will blast through anything that looks at it. I love that. It's so funny. It's so strong. Dynawesome. It's hard to go off of those cards and onto other cards, but we're going to keep going. Next up is Dynawesome, the 4-cost 400 that does have a interrupt effect. Obviously useful. Dummand. Never really liked this guy. He's never been on my top radar of my favorite pals, let's say. Dummand does state on deploy, get 2 fruit, but also, when assigned to a farming structure, gain a soul. It doesn't say, like, where it comes from on the text on the bottom. The text in the card does state, increase your soul by 1 card in the rested state. So, you pull it from the soul deck to get 1 more. It's not like a floating magical extra. So you can't have like 10 mana and like a floating magical extra one. It is from the deck rested. So you get like just a 4-cost that gives you an extra one that you can continue to move. Oh, there's a lot of green. I did not realize how much there was. All right, so let's start banging these out. Ecthirdir Terra says the Guardian of Nature. 6-drop 800 that does have the ability of Taunt. But it also does say Act Unlimited, consume 2 fruits. That states every time you consume 2 fruit, gain 500 until the end of the turn. Obviously, you have a good fruit creation, then you're able to use those resources to boost Ecthirdir to make it much, much stronger. We have the Farming Hat. 3 cost that states, rest this card, choose a PAL, gain plus 200 until the end of the turn, but you also get 1 fruit. You can obviously have 4 counts of the same card in your deck, so if you have multiple Farming Hats, you're generating multiple free fruit every single turn. Next up, the 2-cost feed box that says consume a fruit. Increase your soul by 1 card in the rest state. Another card from the soul deck. If there were 10 or more souls before increasing, choose 2 souls and stand them. So, late game, a little hat giving you 1 free fruit allows you to essentially have 12 mana to use every single turn, because you can gain your little fruit, use the little fruit with the feed box, because your stamina, your mana is or your souls are already full, and you can then use 5 or 6, whatever, and then you can use the feed box, pay the cost, gain 2 of them back, and then obviously use extra. Next up is Floping, which we did go over in a prior video, but once again, 3-cost deploy, gain 2 fruit. Obviously, fruit being very powerful, as we've seen already, so 2 fruit, good. Found an Egg, a 2-cost that says, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 PAL among them, add the rest to your, add that to your hand, then shuffle the rest into the deck, and if you chose none of them, you gain 3 fruits. So this is really good if you're using fruit generation, or if you're trying to draw extra cards. Pretty powerful. Pretty powerful. The 2-cost 300 of Gummos. Basic starter PAL, not bad. But then we have the other Gummos that says Curious Sprout. 4-cost 600 PAL. That says on deploy, this card gets plus 300 power and Assault until the end of the turn. Assault states this card can attack PALs in the in the stood state. So it's basically a 4-drop 900 that if I have other boosters, I can make it better, of course. But even if your opponent's trying to use a PAL as a defender, you can either target it first to get rid of it, or you can obviously use it to still go face and still boost the card itself, because 4-cost 900 is still pretty good on the turn where you can draw 4 or play 4. This one is definitely not fixed up yet. This is Lifmonk, the Promising Newbie, a 3-drop 500 with no effect. Again, another good starter character, but nothing crazy. Lily's Strategy, another strategy-based card, says choose 1, all of your PALs power, get plus 1,000 until the end of the turn. Second ability is put 1 structure or gear into the graveyard. Oh, finally found something. Green, outside of like red and blue, we haven't seen it yet, but green has the ability to remove gear or structures. That could be very powerful. Next up, though, is increase your souls by 1 card in the rested state. So it is a 3-drop that does add another one. So we have a 3-drop that can do it, a 4-drop that can do it. We have plenty of cards where we can increase the amount of souls. We have a 2, 3, and 4-drop now that I'm thinking about it, that all have the ability to add 1 soul. So you can use the deck to ramp itself. You can use the Lily's Strategy to delete your opponent's gears or structures, which is mind-boggling because it's the only one that has existed thus far that we've seen that can just delete a structure, and structures have a lot of HP, so just paying 3 to remove it sounds very powerful. Oh, wow. Lylene, hello. Blessing of the Goddess is a 7-cost Lucky Pal. I mean, it is a super parallel, as you can see with the whole whoosh around the card. It states, on deploy, gain 3 fruit. Once per turn, consume 3 fruit. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1, cost 6 or less pal from among them and deploy it. Then shuffle the rest into your deck. Oh, okay. So, on deploy, you gain 3 fruit, and you can just summon in the one of the top 5 cards of your deck if it's a pal that has 6 cost. Deploy, gain 3, use 3, and then just look at the top 5, get a free summon. And if this thing survives for a couple of turns or whatever, it can just ramp into value, because obviously, survives an extra turn, your opponent doesn't take it out, you go, cool, I use my hats to gain more fruits. I play a Floppy and a hat. Boom, I have 3 fruit, I use its ability. Because it's a once per turn effect. I can look at the top 5, and if there's a 6-drop or less, I slap it down for free. Pretty good. If you need sustainability, though, you need to make sure you can protect it. Mamorist, I think this is the biggest pal in the game. It costs 2,000 that says, when this card is put into the graveyard, gain 3 fruit. And because of the way the game works, you're able to use the 2,000 swing. If the pal got knocked out, you'd get your 3 fruit. And because there isn't really a phase of battle into at the end of that battle, and then you can continue playing more cards, it's all of it kind of happens at the same time. You can have Mamorist get knocked out in a fight, make your opponent say they have a 2,200 attack it, they have 200 points left, but Mamorist now has its ability, because it went to the graveyard, gain 3 fruits, and then if you still have Lylene, you can use those 3 fruits to look at the top of your deck, and then slam down another card that can then make an attack as well, because it's deploying that card, make an attack, and do the rest of the damage, if needed. The next cost is the 5-cost Mossanda, the Guard Captain. There is an illustrator one for this one, the super parallel one, but it's not loaded here for some reason. Not a big deal, same card, just different art. 5 cost, 900 with a lot of effects of harvesting, crafting, collecting, and transporting. Down to our final few here, we have the No Pals sign that says assign 1 pal. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, the assigned pal gains Taunt. Wow! Even small pals can gain Taunt, but it has a durability, so they have to get through the durability of 11, plus the damage of whatever it is, Taunt-wise. That is kind of crazy. Giving somebody Taunt is ridiculous. Especially at a 5-cost, giving Taunt is not even bad. I think this is 6. Again, the holographic does deceive me. Patalia's Sweet Blessings states, on deploy, gain 1 life, choose 2 souls, and stand them. Wow. It is just a 6-drop that effectively turns into a 4-drop. Because you just get 2 souls. You heal 1 and gain 2. It's a 6-drop 700. Sure, it's attack as weak, but like, it's an extra. Oh, it's a 6-drop. That's what makes it crazy, because you can tag it with Lylene. Lylene will allow you to freely summon this by using 3 fruit. So if you have 3 fruit, Lylene can activate its effect, summon Patalia for free to get down an extra 700 attacker, give you 1 life, and free up 2 extra souls. Wow. Queen Bina. That's not its name. But we will continue. 5-cost Lucky Pal, 700 power with 2 strike that says continuous. This card gets plus 300 power for each B-guard. Now that B-guard effect makes a lot more sense. Consume 1 fruit, look at the top card of your deck. If it is a B-guard, you may play it with its cost reduced by 2. It cannot become 0, otherwise leave the card on the top of the deck. Okay, so now I need to know if the combo with the water card from our last video would work with this. Because there's another card that says all... I can't remember if it said all pals or all cards become the name of the card that you want. Because then you can just say B-guard. And then this will guarantee look at the top card of your deck, and it becomes a B-guard. And then you can -2 to summon it. Just saying, it's a thing. It also does gain plus 300 for each B-guard. So, like, since there's only 5 pals allowed on the board, if you had 4 B-guards and then Queen Bina, which is not its name, You could get a plus 12, so Queen does gain that extra, 1900 for a 5 cost, which is not bad, but like B-Guard difficult. Hard to say. Next up, the Ranch, which just once per turn assign a pal, get either 3 wood or 3 fruits, and draw 1 card. That's disgusting. A 2 cost that gives you 3 fruits, so you can trigger the effect of every other pal that needs or gear or structure that needs a fruit. A 2 cost that allows you to gain 3 and draw 1. That's powerful. A 6 cost gear, Refined Metal Spear, that states, tap this card, give 900 to 1 pal and until the end of the turn. 900 is a lot. It's a 6 drop plus 900. That's pretty solid. And we have ways of cheating it out with blue. Maybe green-blue is kind of crazy. Rushor, the Reckless I assume Destroyer, maybe. But it says, auto, when this card attacks a structure, this card gains plus 800 power until the end of the turn. Okay, so you have the strategy card, Lily Strategy, that can destroy gears or structures. And then you have Rushor, who has the ability to boost its attack to 1,000 as a 2 cost, by the way, when it attacks a structure. Very good removal tools for opposing players' gears and structures. Next, we have Stone Blast, 2 cost quick. Choose a pal, it gets plus 500 until the end of the turn. I mean, okay. I'll go with okay. Plus 500 until the end of the turn. I mean, like, if your opponent attacks with 900 on an 800, you can just boost it. So, I mean, the surprise factor of countering is pretty good. Tansy, the Cheerful Worker, states Serious 400 when it gets assigned, plus 400 to another pal until the end of the turn. It does have collecting, crafting, harvesting, and transporting, so it does have options. Violetta, still don't think that's his name either. The Charming Star says, discard a card from your hand. If this card was assigned this turn, stand this card. What? So this card would have to be played, assigned, and if it's tapped, you can discard one to stand it. Being an 8-drop Lucky that has 1600 power and 3 strike, and having the ability to be in a farming or transporting structure that can be assigned, of course, and being able to attack twice is very good. War Sect, the Iron-Willed. I really do like War Sect. It's got a taunt ability. It is an 8 cost, 15 with taunt. With 3 strike, that makes a lot of sense, because obviously it's meant to go face and then be in the rested state. 15 is super fair for a taunt character. To force your opponent to swing into it is rough, to say the least. And last but not least, we have Wumpo Botan, the Tropical Sentinel, having harvesting, crafting, collecting, and transporting with a 7-cost Disrupt. I mean, if it was 6, it would be hysterical because, the combo with the Lylene to summon out 3 6s, pretty funny. But a 7-cost 12 that has an interrupt is really good because you can obviously use the interrupt for defense, but 12 is really good for an attack, and 3 strike makes him all around good. Now, of course, we saw that blue had a very straight structure line of, play a bunch of structures and draw a bunch of cards, and basically abuse your opponent's ability to not attack using the different cards you have in your deck. Green has a ramping ability and a lot of combos using fruit. So if you're able to get a lot of fruit charge, a lot of your abilities become a lot more effective. I guess this, uncontested, using the Farmer's Hat to gain 1 free fruit every turn. Floppy gives you extra fruit. You can get extra souls to use every single turn. It sounds very promising to be a good support for other decks. I don't think on its own it's going to be strong enough. Obviously, we have that 2k, the 8-cost 2k Malsanda. Very strong, don't get me wrong. But I genuinely feel as though without a little bit of support from another class, the deck won't shine nearly as brightly. But it will make any other class feel way stronger than if it was alone. Just my 2 cents. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you think green will be that deck that makes everything better. Maybe you think it's just awful. Maybe it's the worst of all the different types of decks you've seen thus far. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video, where we're going to be going over the dark typing, the purple cards.